Hello, this is my fourth video in this series on how I make mirror images using various file formats. In this particular one, we're going to go over PSD, which is Photoshop Document, or PSB, which is Photoshop Big. Now, in comparison to the RAW, JPEG, and DNG files that we did in the previous videos, PSD and PSB react differently to being opened up as a smart object. And the whole reason we want to open it up as a smart object to begin with is so that we can do our split and get it to where we want it, and turn it around and all this other good stuff to be able to get the detail out of our center line where the majority of our images are. So we're going to use the same image that I did last time. This originally started out as a 17 images, I believe, 15, that I did of a bug on a dead bug on dried flowers, and I did stacking. I made them into a stack and then combine them in Photoshop to make a stacked image to get the sharpness all the way through. Standard procedure. So because I saved it as a PSD because everything was stacked, now we have to play a little bit rather than using it straight in. So let's go into Photoshop. Opens a smart object in Photoshop. And like we said, this is so that we can do our split and our trim line. Photoshop opens. And as you can see, we've got layers, history, toolbars, and properties. We only need 3, so as soon as it finishes opening, I will move this out of the way. So there we go. We'll just move that into the other screen. So here is our image from before. There's our smart object symbol. Now, rather than when we want to do our split. So we hit smart, or double click it, and you see it doesn't open in Camera Raw. It opens as a second file. Now, just so that we can keep track of it, I'm going to make that a red bar. Turn that back on. We go back to the other one. It's uncolored. This helps when you're going back and forth to know where you are. It's easy to get confused when you're doing this. So let's start out, we'll do a trim or a crop. We'll bring it over to, let's go to his nose. Bring it up a little bit below that elbow there, down to there, and we'll just take that back edge off. Double click it. There's no other edits we want to do. Now, if we just go back over here, we see that it's not done. We go back to, where to go? There we are. As I say, it's easy to get confused. We're in the Smart Object Editing window. You have to save in this window, and this is our red one, to be able to apply the changes we've done here to our other image. Now, as you can see, it's zoomed in and done strange things. So just pick another tool, in this case a hand tool. Image, reveal all. Control 0 to zoom out, and there's our cropped image. We go back and look in the other one. There's our red. There's our cropped image. So let's do our standard steps here. Control Alt C for canvas. Change to percent. We want to increase our width by 100%. Relative is checked. And we're going to be doing our image is going to be on the right hand side, so we move our anchor point to the center. OK. And Control 0 just to bring it back where we are. Move that over a bit. Control J to make a copy. Hold down, pick our move tool, hold the shift key, move it over. If you watch the other videos, you can tell why I'm getting like this. Okay, and we're on this side. Control T for free transform. Right click, flip horizontal, enter. And let's just make it a little smaller. So there's our image as a mirror. Now let's just look at it. Can we do something different, get a better image out of there? Sure can. Well, the problem is we're using a PSD. So to do this, we have to go back into here. We have to, in our history panel, delete, I'll just move it out here, delete our crop that we did. Move this back over here so it's out of the way. Now we have to recrop it from the beginning. And I found this out through a lot of trial and error. So if we bring this up to here, this over to, let's bring his head back this way, right to the edge of the wing there. Hit enter. And enter again. And Control S. Crop the image before saving. You can see, and that's the other thing, is delete cropped pixels is unchecked when we're doing it this way. Crop. It's saving, as you can see in the bottom left. Back to our bug. We'll just move it over here. And image. Reveal all. Pick this side here. Use our move tool. There we go. Okay, image, trim, okay. And we'll just make it a little bigger. So as you can see, doing it directly as a PSD or a PSB, if you have done a bunch of edits to it and have multiple layers, gets to be a little difficult. You're better off to, before you come into Photoshop, to save it as a digital negative, because it saves everything that's in the file. Then when you're finished doing your split and everything else, you just save it back as a PSD or a PSB, depending how big it is. Otherwise, there's no other changes in how we do the procedure. So, like I say, this is having these two windows open. If we go back here, and there, we can tell we're into our Smart Object Editing window because we marked it as red. We can do all of his Smart Object stuff that normally would be down here below everything else, showing us all our Smart Object steps. So that's just a little anomaly to keep in mind when you're doing not only mirror images, but maybe a few other different jobs where you want to use smart objects for the flexibility of moving back and forth everywhere inside your editing process and your workflow. Hopefully this has been helpful to anyone that wants to do a mirror image, and thank you very much. Have a great and wonderful week. Bye.